Welcome back to Acrylic Arts Academy, where we unlock the artist within you. Our lesson today will guide you gently through the process of recreating Vincent Van Gogh's masterpiece, Starry Night, with careful step-by-step instructions for beginners. Please remember that while Starry Night is in the public domain, allowing us the privilege of this tutorial, we strongly discourage selling any duplicated artwork. Now let's take time to gather our materials. For this project, our canvas will be an 8 by 10 inch stretched cotton canvas. Let's go over colors you'll need. Phthalo blue, then cobalt blue, next titanium white by Cerulean Blue, ivory black is next, then burnt umber, yellow ochre, lemon yellow follows, sap green, and finish with orange. Now let's talk about the brushes and tools you will need. Start with a 2-inch flat brush, followed by a 1/2-inch flat brush. You'll also need a number 1 round or Filbert brush. Now that we've got all our tools and colors ready, let's get started. Let's begin by placing our canvas in the landscape position, as shown here. Apply drops of phthalo blue, cobalt blue, white, phthalo blue, and cobalt blue onto the canvas. Enjoy the movement of swishing this paint around as you make a gorgeous gradient. Painting the background from the upper to lower portions. Follow what is shown here. Blend the colors with a wet, flat brush, using horizontal strokes for a smooth background. The best type of brush stroke to use here is an even side-to-side sweeping motion. Take a moment to let this dry a little before applying the next layer. You can make drying quicker by using a fan or hairdryer with a low or no heat setting. Once your previous layer has dried, grab a clean flat brush and mix very light blue by adding a dash of blue to plenty of white. Create a mountain-like shape in the lower middle canvas with ice blue, white, and cobalt blue mix. Make this shape higher up on the right side of the canvas and lower on the left. Only paint a few inches downward at this time. Fill the bottom area with black for land using the same method, forming random mountain shapes. This time, we'll paint with black down the canvas. If needed, take your time to fill in this area completely, and pause the video while you work. If you need more light blue, mix a dash of blue with plenty of white. Use a Filbert brush to make light blue swirls in the upper canvas portion. Follow the pattern shown here. Take your time to fill in the design you create. Add a cypress tree using black paint. Flip your brush to its slimmest orientation and apply the paint in short, downward strokes. Make a slightly wider base for these trees using the same downward brush strokes. There are 2 components here, a taller tree and a tree that is half the height. Consider formulating both, even if you need to pause the video. Let's add some more details to the sky. Pick up your Filbert brush again and dip it into the light blue paint. We're going to create 11 circular formations in various shapes and sizes. Think of these shapes as placeholders for the stars we'll add later. Follow the pattern shown here. Observe closely how I'm applying the paint. Follow the pattern shown here. Try to space them evenly across the upper canvas, and don't be afraid to overlap some with the swirls you've already painted. Take your time to fill in the design you create. Now that our sky is looking celestial, let's bring some life to our cypress tree. Pick up your detail brush and dip it into the burnt umber paint. We're going to use small vertical hatch marks to apply this color to the tree. This technique will give our tree a realistic texture and depth. Gradually extend up the tree, making sure to mix in some sap green as you go. The burnt umber and sap green will naturally blend as you work, creating a rich earthy tone that's characteristic of a cypress tree. Remember, perfection isn't the goal here. The beauty of this style of painting is in its imperfections. So don't worry if your tree doesn't look exactly like mine. Just keep refining these details, and remember to enjoy the process. You're doing fantastic. Once you're satisfied with your tree, we'll move on to the final touches. We're now ready to bring some glowing vibrancy to our starry night. Pick up your brush and dip it into your yellow paint. We're going to add yellow broken line swirls within the middle stars. This will create a beautiful contrast against the light blue background and make your stars pop. Observe closely how I'm applying the paint. I'm using a technique called hatch marking, which involves creating small broken lines in a swirling pattern. This technique will create an impression of luminescence, as if the stars are glowing. Follow my brush stroke and try to replicate it. Remember, the beauty of this process is in the details, so take your time to make these yellow swirls, following the shape of each star. If you need to pause the video to concentrate on this step, don't hesitate. Once we're done with this, our night sky will look even more magical and ready for the next steps. This will add depth to your sky. Remember, each stroke represents a star, so make them shine bright. If you need to pause the video to take your time, feel free to do so. Once done, we'll be ready to add the final touches. As we approach the end of our artistic journey, let's illuminate our starry night. Take your detail brush and dip it into the pure white paint. Using the same technique we applied to the cypress tree, we're going to paint the outer portion of these star formations. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about expressing your creativity and enjoying the process. So paint a little outside the lines. Let your stars shine bright and bold against the dark sky. This technique might feel a little tricky at first, but trust me, it will become easier as you move along and get the hang of things. Be sure to give this detail to every star formation you have created. This will add a striking contrast to our night sky, making our stars truly pop and bringing the entire painting to life. Grab your cleaned up paintbrush and dip into the light blue paint. Gently apply swirling brush strokes in the sky, mirroring the movements we used for the stars and mountains. This is a crucial part of our painting, so take your time with it. Remember, patience is key in getting those perfect swirls and achieving a harmonious blend of colors. Now let's repeat this method for the remaining stars and light blue mountains. This may be a bit time-consuming, but trust me, the result will be well worth the effort. Depending on your painting, you might need to switch between white and yellow as you work to maintain a balance of light and dark elements. This step is all about refining, enhancing, and bringing out the best in your painting. So don't rush through it. Take your time, enjoy the process, and soon enough you'll be admiring a masterpiece that you've created with your own hands. Remember, the effort you put into this will shine through, in the final product, and you'll be patting yourself on the back soon enough. Once you're done, take a step back and admire your work. Your starry night is nearly complete. As we continue our exploration of the night sky, it's time to add some more details to make it truly mesmerizing. Now, we're going to create a seamless transition from our stunning sky to the dark land beneath it. For this, we'll be using phthalo blue and light blue paint. Grab your paintbrush and dip it into the phthalo blue, then lightly touch the area where the hills meet the sky. Be sure to use the same swirling brush strokes that we've been utilizing for our sky and mountains. This is going to help blend the sky into the land, creating a harmonious and realistic transition. Once you've applied the phthalo blue, rinse your brush and then dip it into the light blue paint. Apply this over the phthalo blue, using the same swirling motion. This will add depth and dimension to our transition, making it look even more realistic. Remember, just like with the sky and mountains, this step requires patience and precision. So take your time, enjoy the process, and soon enough, you'll see your painting come to life even more. This is where your painting really starts to take shape and where all your hard work starts to pay off. So take a step back, admire your work, and get ready for the final touches in our next scenes. In this scene, we're going to add a charming little village to our landscape, complete with a tower and a quaint house. Start by grabbing your paintbrush and dipping it into the light blue paint. With careful, precise strokes, begin to paint the outline of the tower on the right side of your canvas. Ensure that the base of the tower meets the land we painted in the previous scene, creating a seamless connection between the two. Once you're satisfied with your tower, add another layer of color on the left side of the tower. This is going to represent the light hitting the tower, creating a beautiful highlight and giving your painting more depth. Now it's time to build our little house. Rinse your brush and dip it into the brown paint. Carefully, begin to paint the outline of the house near the base of the tower. Just like with the tower, make sure the base of the house meets the land, creating a harmonious connection between the two. Once you've outlined the house, rinse your brush and dip it back into the light blue paint. Use this to add a few flourishes to your house, like windows and a door. Remember, this is your painting, so feel free to add as many details as you'd like. This scene is really going to bring your painting to life, adding a touch of whimsy and charm to your already stunning landscape. So, take your time, enjoy the process, and watch as your painting transforms before your eyes. We're almost at the finish line, so get excited for our final scenes. As we move into this next scene, we're going to focus on adding details in the remaining land, sky, and our prominent cypress tree. To begin, take a step back and look at your painting. See those untouched areas on the right side of the canvas? We're going to use light blue to add diagonal hatch marks, suggesting hilly formations. With your brush still dipped in light blue, let's fortify the foreground starting from the base of the cypress tree and moving outwards. Form boundaries around the tree, adding depth and detail to the scene. As we reach the bottom of the canvas, let's switch to a lighter blue. This color will add a soft touch to the ground and help differentiate the various formations in our landscape. Now, it's time for a little bit of black. Use this color to add a simple wavy line, creating a division between the foreground formations. This will give your painting more depth and a sense of dimension. Next, let's add texture to the ground using small semicircle brush strokes. These strokes should be concentrated near the bottom of the canvas. Then, fill in the remaining areas within the landscape using short, horizontal brush strokes. Lastly, let's return to our light blue paint and add the final details to the sky. Use the unique brushwork technique we've been practicing to fill in any remaining parts of the sky. Remember, this style takes time to perfect, so don't rush. Feel free to pause the video at any point if you need more time to work. You're doing a fantastic job, and we're almost at the finish line. Keep going. On to the next phase of our masterpiece. We've got a beautiful night sky, but what's a starry night without a moon? So let's add a stunning yellow-orange crescent moon to our canvas. Look at the right upper circular formation in the sky. Within this formation, we're going to paint a crescent moon using a yellow-orange mix. Start by outlining the shape of the crescent lightly with your brush. Once you're satisfied with the shape, gradually fill it in with the same color. Take your time with this, ensuring the color is evenly spread and the shape is precise. The moon should be a bright, glowing addition to our night sky. But we're not done just yet. See those other circular star formations we've created? We're going to make them pop with a touch of bright orange. Dip your brush into the bright orange paint and add a small dot to the center of each formation. This will give our stars a glowing effect and add depth to our sky. Remember, it's all about the details. Don't rush. Take your time to make each stroke perfect. This is your masterpiece, and every detail counts. If you need to, feel free to pause the video, take a step back, and observe your work before moving on. Now let's continue with our starry night. Let's move on to our next step, which is all about bringing life to our landscape with the soft, warm glow of the moon. After you've added the orange flourishes to the star centers, it's time to clean your brush off thoroughly. Scoop up some of your yellow paint, and let's start adding small swipes of color where needed in the foreground. This technique will portray the light of the moon glinting off the landscape, creating a beautiful and serene night scene. Be careful not to overdo it. We want to create a subtle effect of moonlight. Remember, art is all about balance and harmony. You are doing a fantastic job, and you should indeed be proud of yourself. As we wrap this up, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more painting tutorials. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's take a moment to admire the beautiful starry night you've created.
If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more painting tutorials. Don't forget to check out the description below for more information on the supplies we use and what free resources we offer. Until next time, keep those brushes moving and let your creativity flow. Begin your acrylic painting journey by taking one of our free courses. Just visit acrylicartsacademy.com/free courses to get started.